My six-figure e-commerce store almost didn't happen. In fact, the first 3 months of my shop, I made exactly $0. However, by the 10th month in business, I had earned over $28,000, which isn't bad for an online shop that sold digital products, so no fulfillment, and I didn't have any overhead except for my Squarespace domain and a site theme that I had purchased. So all in all, about 300 bucks that I had spent on setting this business up. Everything else came from my head. And that's exactly what you can do today. The opportunity for e-commerce shops is expanding at a rate we haven't seen in recent history, especially with everybody coming back online after the illness has more or less subsided into the past. But now we're facing the R word, which means that people are going to be on their computers shopping sites just like yours that could be making $28,000 in 10 months' time. Today, I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took, especially with the benefit of hindsight, because there's a lot that I did wrong, so that you can run, not walk, because I was basically a baby, like pooping in a diaper and crawling and maybe looking back at the diaper sometimes. It was so painful, but you're not gonna have that experience because I'm here to guide you through and show you what steps you should take today in order to start making an income online. Hello everyone, I'm Christina Scalera and I help you to make your millions through e-commerce, as in digital commerce stores. And over the past 7 years, I've had so much success, not just financially, but also relationship-wise, lifestyle-wise, from my online business. And I'm so thrilled that I can look back and with the gift of hindsight, show you some of the things that I did and some of the things I would have done differently if I had to start over from scratch today. The first thing that I did right was I created products that people really needed. And I knew they needed it because this was something that people had been asking me for when they found out what my background was. Oprah and her friends aren't gonna knock on your door and tell you exactly what to create a $2 million shop. However, if you are closely listening to your friends, your family members, as they complain about things and they just kind of have the same things coming up in their life over and over again, that could be a really great fit for you to try to create a digital solution around and sell it through your online store. In my case, I went to a couple different creative retreats. So these were retreats for people that were photographers, videographers, people in the wedding industry, calligraphers, artists. And while I wasn't one of those people, I tried, but nobody wanted to buy anything like that from me. Anyway, I just had a lot of conversations with these people and it was really great to get to know them. And consistently what would happen is when they found out, when I got outed as a lawyer, because I never went into these situations just being like, hello, I am an attorney. Like, that's weird. I would just go in and be like, yeah, I'm trying to be a calligrapher. I'm trying to be a yoga teacher, because I was at the time. And eventually when someone asked a question about an LLC, right? Like I'd sit there and I'd be like, oh, that's bad information. Okay, I'm gonna answer it. And then finally I would come out and, out myself as an attorney. And so when that would happen in those situations, I always had people that were asking me, well, how do I work with this problem client? Or what do I do in this situation? Or can an LLC protect me from XYZ? And as the years have gone on, I've just looked for those little kinds of opportunities. So for example, in 2018, there was a huge privacy policy regulation that came out called the GDPR. And we don't need to go into it. I have a whole second channel called The Contract Shop, all about that stuff. But basically what happened was people were freaking out about their privacy policies and whether they would be up to date or they'd get sued or whatever. And so I heard it loud and clear. And in my head, I'm thinking, not really that much is changing. Like, people are making a big deal out of nothing, right? Because someone's about to make money somewhere. And I decided that somewhere and someone was me. And I created a product all about the GDPR. It included our privacy policy and terms and conditions, and it just really put a lot of people, their minds at ease. Now, everything in that product, that was probably the only product that I've ever created in my shop where I'm like, this doesn't feel good to me. But I did it anyway. And in hindsight, I'm glad I did that because it helped a lot of people out. Because even though it didn't feel valuable to me, I'm like, I literally give you guys this information for free on my blog. They didn't care. They wanted it coming from a professional paid source, but they weren't ready to hire an attorney. And so I was the perfect fit to give them that. And so for $500, I put their mind at ease. I gave them everything they needed. I made it simple and easy for them to understand. And I gave them, of course, a 14-day any reason refund for anybody that it wasn't a good fit for. And in the end, I'm so glad I did that because I really capitalized on what was happening in the marketplace at that time. But I also got more emails than I've ever received about how happy and at ease and like less anxiety that they had just because they bought this product from me. So start to look for those little annoyances, those nuisances, any kind of just scary things that people might be going through that you could help them with. And those are going to be the products that people really, really need. And those are always going to be easier to sell. So if you don't want to be salesy, that's the secret, is you just create products and things that people need and the products sell themselves. Another thing I did at the beginning of my online store that really helped propel my success very quickly was I stayed pretty niche. And in the years since, I have continued to stay really niche. I've had so many people who have requested that I create contracts for the healthcare field and for therapists and dentists and all kinds of stuff. But at the core, I don't know how to be a dentist. I know how to be a creator. I know how to be a calligrapher, not a good one, but I know how to do these things. And so I feel really confident putting products out there that people can use, that I also understand how that entire relationship works, because for most of the products that we sell, I've been on both sides of them. I've dabbled in wedding photography. I have horses, so we sell equine photography templates. I have tried to be a calligrapher and I got hired for like one job, so take that as you will. And I've also supplemented with people that I know because this is my daily bread and butter, and I'm constantly talking to people who are in the creative industry. I'm sure that I could find nurses and therapists and dentists, especially since they're already reaching out to me for these contracts, but I haven't really wanted to expand into these areas because they just don't seem interesting to me. But also, I would really have to get to know their business model and who they are and everything so much more, and it would take me away from the niche of the creative industry that I currently serve. So I haven't opted to do that. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table, but I actually don't think so. I think that the more niche we've stayed and tried and true we stayed at these creatives that we serve, then the better that our products sell. In fact, in the past, I've thought about opening up a secondary shop that's just for these healthcare providers, but at the end of the day, I decided to open up this YouTube channel, so it would really mean a lot to me if you gave this video a like and hit the subscribe button. It's totally free for you, but it does make a huge difference to me and this channel, and I put all this content out for free. It actually cost me a good bit of money to create this stuff, but it's totally free for you guys, and the best payment you can give is a like, a comment, a subscribe. It means so much. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that I didn't do so well. This could be a really long list, a really long video, but I'll try to keep it short for you. One of the biggest mistakes that I made was creating a funnel. Everybody told me, oh, you can't just send people to a homepage and have them buy your products. You need to have a funnel. You need to sell every individual product through its own funnel. Do you know how exhausting that was for me to try to create? First of all, I didn't understand how funnels worked. I didn't understand funnel software or how to integrate a funnel with, Flowdesk or MailChimp or something. Like that was just really hard for me, especially back then. At the time, I was already my own project manager, my own graphic designer, my own content director, my own virtual assistant, everything to myself, right? And now I had to be a marketing director and expert too. Like what the heck? So I fell into this trap. I went to the big funnel conferences and I learned about funnels, and funnels definitely have a time and a place. But if they are too hard for you, just know that they will still be available in 6 months when they're not as hard for you, or where you have a little bit more help under your belt that you can focus on funnels at that time. I love funnels. I have them going all the time in both businesses now. But when I first started, everybody told me that you could never just sell from an online store. You had to have a funnel into that online store. And I have found the opposite to be true. In fact, for the Contract Shop, my online store that I base all my d-commerce selling and information off of, I found that I don't need a funnel. They tend to hurt the sales because the whole point of a d-commerce store is that someone can find all your products neatly laid out in one place and get what they need. It's kind of like shopping at Walgreens or CVS versus like Costco, and you have to run all the way to the back of the store. Or like if you're in another country, it'd be like IKEA, right? Like good luck finding whatever you need in that store. In addition to that, as I was starting my store, the second thing that I really regret doing is not staying true to myself. So I had a lot of people that were telling me that like Instagram was the place to be, get on Instagram. And I could take good pictures, but it took me about 600 tries. I'm not kidding. Like, you should see my camera roll. And I could do the stock photography thing or write captions, but it never felt right. So I'm really happy for these video platforms like TikTok and YouTube because they're like where I authentically want to be and where I spend all of my time. Like, even if you look at my TikTok or Instagram today, you can tell that I put way more time and effort into responding to comments and engaging with people here on YouTube and video platforms than I do on Instagram, just because like I've never felt quite right on Instagram. Staying away from these video platforms was a big mistake for so many reasons. Most of all, in 2015, I thought I was too late for YouTube. I'll let that sink in for a second because that was 7 years ago. Can you imagine how much more growth and how much bigger I would have been if I had gotten on YouTube 7 years ago? So we are going to see the exact same thing for anybody out there that's like, I can't get on YouTube, I can't do TikTok, I'm too late for even Instagram. It is never too late. Like, do not listen to everybody else who says this isn't the right time, this isn't the right platform. Only you can know what the right time and the right platform is for you and how you want to communicate that message that you feel called to bring into the world through your products. The biggest regret that I have is the things that I didn't do, not the things that I did do. Like, I don't even remember half the stuff I did do that didn't work out. I'm sure I could think of it and talk about it. If that would be something interesting, let me know in the comments. I could talk about all my business failures. I remember vividly having these opportunities and seeing these things that I wanted to do, but hearing other people in my ear and just kind of listening to them over my own intuition. And that's the only thing I really regret as far as my entire business journey. The third thing I did that I wish I had done differently and that you can do differently right from the start is you could layer your content instead of trying to go after all these different social platforms all at once. And I really wish I had done this differently because I wore myself out trying to create a blog post that would then go out to a newsletter, that would get onto Pinterest, that would be reshared on Instagram, that would be uploaded to LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever. I really wish I had layered this content, and I've covered that in other videos, so I'll make sure I link those here. But I wish I had done that instead of trying to get that thing all out at once to everyone all the time. And the reason for that is because I would have had so much more success in getting blog posts out on a regular basis versus what ended up happening, which was like maybe 1, maybe 2 blog posts would come out per month. And then it would take me a while to distribute them everywhere because I'm just one person, I'm not a robot. And I would be super tired and burnt out in the process. And it was also really discouraging because at the beginning, naturally, those numbers weren't very high. And I wouldn't really have any kind of like quick wins or like viral hits, kind of like you can have on YouTube or TikTok these days. So it was a really difficult process to get that content up and running. I am glad that I have that content because some of those blog posts still bring in lots of traffic to us every single day. But I do wish that I had taken a little bit more of a layered approach and like maybe done the blog and worked ahead for 2 months, and then like the next month worked on getting the blog posts on Pinterest, and then the next month worked on repurposing those blog posts onto Instagram. It just kind of felt like I had to have them all up and running like on the same day, and that was so exhausting. It definitely is possible now, and you'll see that with more consistency in my business now. but that's because I have an entire content team that is doing that for me. Okay, so fourth and finally, the biggest mistake that I made and the step that you'll want to skip as you get your business up and running is not reaching out to more people to let them know that your new d-commerce shop exists. This is really important because if people only have a vague idea of what it is that you sell or who it's for, they're not going to be excitedly and confidently referring your shop out to other people. And we want that to happen. That's free marketing for us. And in fact, it's even more effective than if we were to market on our own. Studies show that people are 30% more likely to buy from a friend's recommendation than just finding it on their own. So that's a huge boost to your marketing, totally for free. So make sure that you clearly convey the unique value proposition of your products, exactly what they do and who they're for. That's just a fancy phrase to describe that. And you make sure that you talk to people about the kinds of products that are available on a continuous basis. I feel so bored talking about my products at this point because I just am like, who doesn't know about these yet? Like, I just spend every hour of every day talking about this stuff, but there's still people that don't know. In fact, in this coaching business, you might not know that I have Launch Your Shop Academy that teaches you all of this stuff on how to get your shop up and launched with examples. And there's a special offer for our YouTube friends that I don't have anywhere else, which is if you do join Launch Your Shop Academy, just let our team know, hello at Christina Scalera, and they might give you a free perfect product recommendation that comes straight from me. That's where I pick out a product just for you. But if you're not ready for that just yet, then you'll want to check out the resource I've linked below, which is a free 30-day launch plan for your upcoming shop. And this is exactly what kind of plan we go through in detail in Launch Your Shop Academy that you're getting completely for free. You can combine this with the knowledge I give out here on this YouTube channel, maybe binge watch some videos this weekend, save them to your playlists, all that good stuff. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any of them. And all of that combined is really going to help you get the momentum and the motivation and accountability that you need in order to get your shop up, running, and selling. Because remember, what would you do with an extra $28,000 in your pocket in 10 months? Because that's the reality that's come to light for me, but also we've had crazy success stories from people that have been in our programs. And one gal didn't even go through our program. She downloaded that freebie I just told you about, and she made $8,000 off of it, just implementing what was inside that free planner, that shop launch planner. So make sure you get that. Make sure you actually absorb all this information and let me know who you are, what you're excited about in the comments, because I read every single comment. I reply to all of you, and I would love to hear more about you and your journey, where you're at and where you want to be in 10 months. Thank you for watching. And if you're not sure where to go next, there's a video that just popped up on your screen. So make sure you click that. It's going to take you to exactly what you need to follow this up. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.